The grand mansion sparkled with lights, and laughter filled the air as a family celebrated the 70th birthday of their matriarch. Lavish gifts were presented one after another, each more extravagant than the last. From rare teas to jade statues, the head of the family was delighted. Among the crowd stood a man who had married into the family. With no gift to offer, he took a deep breath and stepped forward, requesting financial help. He explained that a kind woman who had once saved him was gravely ill and needed funds for treatment. His words silenced the room, and shocked faces turned toward him. The family erupted in mockery. One by one, they ridiculed him for daring to ask for money on such an occasion. Despite the humiliation, he remained firm, repeating his plea. The head of the family, however, was enraged. She demanded that her granddaughter divorce him, promising the money only if the request was met. But the granddaughter stood by her husband, refusing to abandon him. Angry at her defiance, the matriarch declared them unwelcome in the family. With a heavy heart, the man left, urging his wife to stay behind. As he walked away, laughter and insults followed, but he paid them no mind. At the hospital, he learned that the woman he wanted to help had already been moved to a top facility, with part of the bill paid. Confused, he was approached by a mysterious man who claimed to have been sent by someone from his past. The man offered him an incredible gift, a card containing unimaginable wealth. Though reluctant, he realized this was his only chance to save the woman who had once saved him. The man couldn't believe his eyes as he looked at the card in his hand. $10 billion? His mind reeled, struggling to process the number. He knew his family was wealthy, but this amount was beyond anything he could have imagined. If this was only a fraction of their wealth, the total value of the family's assets had to be staggering. Conflicted emotions surged within him. While part of him was touched by the gesture, he couldn't forget the pain and suffering his family's actions had caused in the past. Just as he was lost in thought, the older man who delivered the card spoke again, explaining that the money technically belonged to his father. He went on to reveal that the family's vast business empire, including a recently acquired prestigious company, was now under his name. Hearing this, the man was overwhelmed. The acquisition of such a powerful company placed him in a position of immense influence, something that even the most prominent families in the city could only dream of. The older man handed him a business card and left, giving him time to decide whether to accept the inheritance or not. Deep in thought, the man considered everything he had endured over the years, the humiliation, the hardship, and the loss. He reasoned that this wealth was a form of compensation for his struggles, and he decided to use it to help those in need, starting with paying for the treatment of someone who had once saved his life. He immediately returned to the hospital and settled the medical bills. Using the card later, he returned home to an atmosphere of hostility. His in-laws berated him as usual, accusing him of being a burden and urging their daughter to leave him. Despite their harsh words, his wife defended him, refusing to abandon her husband. That night, as he lay on the floor of their shared room, he couldn't sleep. He reflected on everything that had happened and silently vowed to use his newfound power to protect his wife and elevate her status. No one would dare to look down on them again, and he would ensure she received the respect she deserved. The next morning began with a simple routine. After preparing breakfast, a man rode his scooter to a large corporate office. Parking it in a quiet corner of the lot, he noticed a sleek black Bentley arriving nearby. From the car emerged a well-dressed man, exuding confidence, and a woman whose vibrant outfit drew attention. Despite her flashy style, she carried an undeniable charm. Recognizing her, he knew trouble might follow. She was a relative, and her companion was her fiancé. Before he could avoid them, she spotted him and called out with exaggerated friendliness. Trying to remain polite, he greeted her, only for the conversation to turn unpleasant. She boasted about her companion's connections and how they could influence the company's business dealings. Feigning interest, he congratulated them, but her fiancé's disdainful glare gave away his feelings. The man's composed demeanor seemed to irritate him further. Filled with frustration, the woman and her partner belittled him, mocking his supposed lack of qualifications and ridiculing his purpose for being there. The woman even tossed a bottle at his feet, adding insult to injury. Despite their taunts, he remained calm, but couldn't resist delivering a sharp response. His confidence angered her fiancé, who threatened him but hesitated to act. The man turned and walked away, leaving them fuming in the parking lot. Before entering the building, he made it clear that arrogance often came with a price. Inside, he took the elevator straight to the top floor, where the office of a respected vice chairwoman awaited. She had built a name for herself as a capable and intelligent businesswoman. Surprised by his youthful appearance, she quickly recovered and greeted him with utmost respect. Leading him to her office, she prepared to assist him in his role, recognizing his importance despite his modest facils. For the first time, the man met a young woman in her late 20s who carried herself with grace and confidence. Her slender yet striking figure and elegant demeanor immediately caught his attention. Sitting across her desk, he calmly explained that he wouldn't be visiting the office frequently and entrusted her with managing the company's operations. He also requested her to keep his identity confidential, which she respectfully acknowledged, knowing his extraordinary background. The conversation was interrupted by a secretary informing them of visitors, a man and his fiancée, who were waiting outside. The man instructed her to end all business dealings with their family, declaring them unworthy. Shocked but obedient, she promptly assured him of her compliance and relayed his instructions to her team. The visitors, oblivious to the decision, were soon confronted by the harsh reality. The couple, waiting in anticipation, was approached by the secretary and security guards, who bluntly informed them of the termination of all projects. Their protests were met with cold indifference, and they were forcibly escorted out. The man was left stunned, realizing the devastating impact this would have on his family's business. A phone call from his furious father confirmed the worst. He was blamed for their financial downfall. The incident soon spread across the city, shaking the social status of the family. Once near the top of the social ladder, they fell drastically, becoming a shadow of their former selves. Even their ties with others, like an engagement, were questioned due to the repercussions of their disgrace. Back in the office, the man expressed his satisfaction with the woman's swift action and rewarded her with a salary increase. He then directed her to announce the company's ownership change and the initiation of a major project involving a 6-star hotel. The move was bound to attract attention, especially from firms eager to collaborate. Unknown to many, the project was also a step toward aiding someone important in his life, paving the way for opportunities ahead. The two major announcements from the large company shook the entire city like a powerful earthquake. When news of the ownership change spread, everyone started wondering about the mysterious figure behind it. Who was this person capable of casually acquiring such a massive company worth hundreds of billions? The question left everyone stunned, as even the wealthiest individuals in the city wouldn't dare to make such a bold move. The wealthy families of the city were abuzz with excitement and speculation. Many dreamed of forming a connection with this unknown figure, and some even hoped to marry their daughters into his circle. Meanwhile, the announcement of a $2 billion investment into a grand hotel project sent waves through the construction and design industries. Companies across the city scrambled for the opportunity to secure even a small part of such a lucrative project. At a family mansion, the head of the family saw this as the perfect opportunity to raise their status and improve their fortunes. Full of determination, she called for an urgent family meeting that evening and demanded everyone attend. By the evening, the entire family was gathered, including one person who came quietly alongside another. At the entrance, one of the family members, known for his arrogance, began mocking the quiet man. He sneered, questioning how someone like him could show up to such an important meeting. His remarks were cutting, but the quiet man's companion stood firm, calmly reminding him that everyone in the family had been called to attend. Ignoring the taunts, the pair entered the meeting room and sat in the corner. The family head soon entered, her enthusiasm apparent. She declared this project to be a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity that could elevate their family to greater heights. To encourage effort, she announced a grand reward. Whoever could secure a significant deal from the project would be given a prominent role in the family business. Her words sent ripples through the room, but most remained silent, doubting their chances.